What's up guys, it's James here, and in this video I'm going to talk to you about the one thing you absolutely need in order to be successful in business. Now, I've worked with over 400 students now in our program, BNB Mastery Program, helping them to earn a full-time income managing other people's properties on Airbnb. I've had the pleasure of being able to coach dozens of other students outside of that in other types of businesses, whether it be consulting, courses, even residential, commercial painting. I've got lots of experience building my own businesses and coaching others to be successful building their own. And I have seen time and time again, this one thing is absolutely crucial for your business. So that's what we're going to dive into in today's video. Now, before we dive into things, I just want to remind you there is a link in the description down below that I highly recommend you check out. Now, that video in the description down below, it's linked down there, is a free training. So you'll just click that link. It'll take you through to a registration page for the training. You'll click the button on that page, put in your email, put in your name, select a time for that free training, and you're actually going to get access to a free training where we do a deep dive, completely free for you guys on this channel here. That's going to be a deep dive into exactly how to earn a full-time income managing other people's properties on Airbnb. So I highly recommend that you go and check that out. It's going to be a really cool training, completely free for you. We're going to go step by step, show you how you can get started with no previous experience, none whatsoever, and without buying, renting, or furnishing any properties at all, and earn a full-time income managing properties on Airbnb. And we're even going to go a step further. We're also going to show you how you can set things up so the business can run effectively without your inputs in the day-to-day operations, so that you can free up a lot more of your time, a lot more of your energy, so that you can spend more time with family, go and travel more, spend your time the way that you want to, and ultimately be a business owner, not a business operator. So an incredible free training. And if that wasn't enough, we're also going to give you some free tools to help you actually get started growing your business. Those are tools that we have custom developed. We're going to give them to you completely free. So again, just hit that link in the description, register for that free training. You're going to get massive value from that as well. So without further ado, let's dive into it. And I want to share with you the number one tip I have, the number one most important factor that you need to have in order to be successful running your own business. And that is consistency. Consistency. Now I'm going to explain why. So if you think that's something you already know, I know a lot of you guys think, oh, I already know that. It's nothing new to me. It's not some big hack. It's not some big secret. I get it, but common sense is not common practice, and I want to really break down for you so you can help to show you why consistency is so important. Again, I've worked with hundreds of different entrepreneurs all over the world, and I've seen this play out hundreds of times before, and I really can't stress enough just how important this is. Because what happens is a lot of people get into this whole Gary Vee mentality of I'm going to go and hustle and grind and just work hours and hours and hours. And what happens is they go and they do that when they first get started. They have a ton of energy. They're really excited. They're amped up, and they go and explode and get all kinds of massive action early on. And that was one of the mistakes I made when I was first starting out in business as well, is I went and really just went at it gung-ho with as much energy as I could. But the problem is that then you burn yourself out, or you just burn through that initial energy. You're not as excited anymore, or you go in, you don't get the results that you were hoping for, and then you get discouraged. And for one of those reasons, you start to hit the brakes. And regardless of if you can keep excited, it's just not sustainable to be putting in 15-hour days every single day. You need to give your mind some rest. You need to be thinking properly in your business. That's so important to make the right decisions in your business, and you cannot rely on a mind that's just been racing all the time. You need to give it some downtime, give it some rest. And so what happens is those people will go and they'll put in a ton of effort and a ton of energy right up front, and then they'll go on a bit of a hiatus for a while. You'll see that they'll just kind of dwindle away, they'll kind of fade off, and then maybe in a couple weeks or a month or 2 months, they'll come back and they'll have this other burst of energy, this huge burst, and they'll really go at it big time, and they'll just rock and roll, and then the same thing will happen again. And what happens there is, even if you compare that side by side to another person who takes a different approach, and they both put in the exact same amount of time, You compare the person that goes with the bursts of energy, and let's say they put in 80 hours in 1 week, right? And then they go on hiatus and they're gone for a month and they put in 80 hours again that another week. Well, yeah, they put in 160 hours over 2 months. But what if you compare that to a person that takes that 160 hours and spreads it evenly across the 2 months? Who do you think will do better? Well, I have the benefit of having been able to actually take a bird's eye view on this, and I can tell you that every single time the person that comes out on top is the person that spread that 160 hours out evenly over those 2 months. There's a couple big reasons for this. And really what it all boils down to is momentum. When you're putting in efforts consistently, I think there's a lot to be said for the amount of discipline that builds up, the habit that you get into, and the way that that person operates. But let's just set that aside and let's just look at the actual momentum that gets built when you do it one way versus the other. In the one case, let's take the example of just reaching out to clients. You're reaching out to prospective clients, hoping to get them, let's say, on board under management if you're doing an Airbnb management business. But this can be anything. This can be applied to whatever business you're starting up. Well, if you go and you reach out to, let's say, a few hundred people in that time, you just put in massive action, then you're going to be able to respond to a couple of them. Let's say that you put it in over a week, right? So throughout that week, some of those people are going to respond to you that week or the next day, the day of even, and you can respond to them and you might make some progress with them. But what about those people that respond a week later because they didn't check their messages or they were away on holidays? So they respond 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later. Well, those people are getting nothing. Those people are getting put on ice. They're getting, ghosted. They're not getting any message back. It's just radio silence. And then by the time that you get back with your second burst of energy and you go to respond to them, they've forgotten about you. Or they're not interested anymore because they, figure, well, if this person took a week to get back to me when they're trying to bring me on board under management, I don't really want to work with them. It doesn't seem like they're very reliable. That's pretty true. Whereas if you take the same person, a different person who puts in the same amount of time but just spreads it evenly across a number of days, then that person is going to be able to respond to all of those people right away, right? Because if a person responds 2 weeks later, they're still going in for that 30 minutes a day, hour a day, and they're still going to be going in there and putting in the work, responding to that person. So the difference is massive when you actually look at the results that causes, because rather than, let's say that this person gets lucky, the hard worker, the Gary Vee type, maybe they get lucky and they get one client in those 2 months because the timing somehow lined up properly. If you compare that to the results you're going to see from the other person who put in work consistently, they're going to get one client within the first couple of weeks. And then that one client is going to turn into 2 clients a couple of weeks later because it's going to be pretty consistent. You can pretty reliably guess how many clients they're going to bring on every X amount of days, right? Because they're putting in the same amount of effort. It's understandable they're going to get the same amount of output out of that. But not only that, so not only are they going to get one client every 2 weeks, or let's say every 3 weeks even, but they're also going to start to get referrals from those clients that they've generated. So now you're building up momentum. That's what I'm talking about. That's the compounding effect at work. We see it everywhere. It exists everywhere in nature. It exists in your finances, in your investing, and it exists in your business. The amount of time that you put in starts to compound on itself. And now suddenly, without putting in additional effort into reaching out to new people, suddenly you're getting a client referral. So the difference isn't just the difference between 1 and 2 clients, it's literally the difference between 1 and 5 clients. That is why I cannot stress enough that you make sure you put in consistent efforts with your business. No matter what your business is, you want to make sure that you're as consistent as clockwork. Trust me, doing so requires discipline, but it will pay off tenfold. If there's one habit that you can build the habit of consistency. Build the habit of just constantly doing the same thing over and over and just committing to that. I'm not saying, do the same exact work every day. I'm just saying put that time aside in your schedule every day and commit to it. Make sure that you do it every single day. So I hope that was really helpful for you. If you want to now take that consistency that you're going to go and apply, and you want to be able to apply it to the exact right actions that are going to generate the best possible results for you, then check out the link in the description down below. That is a free training. We're going to take that and we're going to show you how you can harness that consistency and apply it to the right places. Because that's the other piece here. If you put 160 hours into the wrong stuff, it doesn't matter that you're putting in 160 hours, you're not going to get the results. Like they say, if you try to run to the west to catch the sunrise, you're never gonna get it. Doesn't matter how fast you run, how far you run, how consistently you run, you're just not gonna hit it, right? So you wanna make sure that you combine that consistency with the right actions. And if you wanna do that, if you're looking at building a BNB management business, then this is the place to do it. Check out the link in the description down below to that free training. We're gonna walk you through everything. We're gonna give you some action items. We're gonna give you some tools to help you execute on those action items so that you can go out, get your first client, your second client, and your fifth client, and grow to a full-time income managing other people's properties on Airbnb. So I hope this has been really valuable for you. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. It really helps me out tremendously with the YouTube algorithm. If you're new to the channel here, click that subscribe button so you can stay up to date. We post 2 new videos every single week. And until next time, I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for coming by the channel and checking us out.